What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about Canada ranked the second best country in the entire world. So, honestly, congrats to Canada, first and foremost. But, I haven't had a chance to take a close look at this list, so I'm confident the United States is right here at number one. Oh, Switzerland. Switzerland. That's a strange way to spell the United States. Switzerland. That's odd. Okay. All right. I guess I'm not totally shocked that America is. Well, honestly, it's not even in the top 4 on the preview of the homepage. Funny enough, if you haven't seen this before, I looked at these rankings last year as well in 2022. This is a ranked list that comes out every year by usnews.com, an American organization. So I guess if anything, you can't call us biased because we're not even in the top 4. I actually think the United States is number 5 this year. Number 5 overall. We were number 4 last year. Number 4. We actually went down a rank, unfortunately. Who knows what we've been doing wrong this year, but too much to unpack there. But let's talk a little bit more about Canada this year. Number 2, if we look at Canada, actually went up. In 2022, Canada was ranked number 3, and this year Canada has gone up to number 2, so that's fantastic. Absolutely. And number 1, just to briefly talk about Switzerland, doesn't shock me. It's one of those countries, man, I don't know a ton about. Americans have stereotypes about Switzerland as well, about Canadians, about any country, it seems like. Switzerland is just kind of this omniscient country out there that Americans are like, oh, they know what they're doing. They're rich, they got Swiss banks and Swiss chocolate. So we just kind of, and obviously they're doing a lot of things really well. If I look at Switzerland briefly, this is a big one here. Switzerland, its cultural contributions are disproportionate to its size. Like, Swiss citizens have won more Nobel Prizes per capita than any other nations. So that's just one, really cool metric there. Switzerland, even being such a small country, has a disproportionately large amount of Swiss citizens doing amazing things. So that, on top of a whole lot of other policies and structures they have, lands them in number 1. And right up there at number 2, man, number 2 in the whole world is Canada, which is just awesome. Doesn't shock me. But before we go and look at all the amazing things Canada was ranked in to get number 2 on the rankings, let's learn a little bit about how they kind of made this list, how they decided on where to rank the different countries, how they even decided on who was number 1 or 2 or any of that. So, US News, to make this list, they created a set of 73 attributes, terms that can describe a country and is relevant to the success of a modern nation. Various attributes and nations were presented a survey of more than 17,000 people across the globe. 17,000 people, that's a lot of people who kind of voted on this ranking. And at the same time, it's not. 17,000 people out of the whole planet. But maybe that's me trying to de-validify this whole list because America got number 5 and not number 1. Okay, participants assessed whether they associated an attribute with each nation. Right, so there's 73 different categories of amazing things that you can do really great at or not so great at, and these 17,000 people across the planet kind of voted on where they thought all of the nations fit into that, and they kind of took an average of all of those scores to get an overall ranking for your country based on how well it did across the board in all these categories. So, with that being said, let's take a look at Canada. Number 2 this year. Went up 1 rank. I want to look at some of the categories, actually. So the overall rank was number 2, and that is because Canada did really, really well in ranking highly in some of these subcategories. It's interesting names they give them, like adventure. Canada got a 54.5 out of 100 in adventure. which surprises me actually, because Canada, I've seen quite a few Canadian kind of travel videos and some of the amazing landscapes and geography and stuff to do, and you can certainly get your adventure on in Canada. So, what do they define adventure as? People like adventure with the chance to break away from the normal rhythms of daily life, helping to reduce stress and improve well being. Okay. Brazil got number one, then Italy, Greece, Spain. Yeah, I think what I'm surprised about is Canada got 20 in adventure. So adventure is not a reason that Canada was number two overall. It was actually one of its lowest scores. That's very odd to me. But let's look at something Canada did good in. Agility. Canada was number two in agility. 94 out of 100 score. This definitely contributed to Canada being number two overall. But what is agility? For a country to be agile, it must adapt and respond to whatever obstacles it faces. To do this, a country needs to be efficient in its actions, adopt and accept modern solutions, and progress to meet changing circumstances. That's a really cool, that's a really, really valuable, really respectable attribute to be great at. So I think Canada should be really proud of this one. The ability to adapt and respond and, adapt to the modern world and to changing circumstances. That's a really, really cool one to be great at, especially for a country to do. There's a whole lot of bureaucracy in this modern world we live in with governments and laws and bills, and it's like, according to this, ranking, Canada's doing real good at pivoting and adapting to different situations. I think that's a really good one. Entrepreneurship, number 5, 84.2, entrepreneurship. I would expect, I don't mean to toot the American horn. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I'm going to toot. I would expect the United States to do really, really well in entrepreneurship. And it did get number 1 in entrepreneurship. Canada got number 5, which is really great. Okay, how do they define it? For countries to spread prosperity to citizens, governments must find industries where they can compete globally. Yeah, these countries are seen as innovative with enterprising citizens. Yes. So that was one Canada did really, really fantastic in. What's another category Canada did real high in? Quality of life. Quality of life. Talk about a good one to be highly ranked in. Quality of life, that's one of the most important possible, honestly, right? That's why you're alive, to have a quality of it. Okay. Beyond the essential ideas of broad access to food, housing, quality education, healthcare, and employment. Well, off the bat, I already see why Canada scored so highly in quality of life. It does have all of those things really highly. I mean, it's only beaten by Norway and Sweden, which are known for having very high qualities of life as well. I don't see the United States. I'm desperately scrolling down, like, okay, the America's gonna pop up here in quality of life any second now. No, it's not in the top 8 or 9. It's not even on the front page. Okay. Quality of life also may include intangibles, such as job security, political stability, individual freedom, and environmental quality through all phases of life. These countries are seen as treating their citizens well. So this is just citizens feeling like they have happiness, access to becoming happy and fulfilling lives, can be employed, having good health care. That's a huge one. And housing and education. Healthcare and education are huge for me in sectors that Canada is really a global leader in and a shining example of. And that's really, really, really good one to be highly ranked in. And I did not see the United States rank in quality of life. I kind of want to know. 23? Oh no. Oh, 23? 49 out of 100 in quality of life. Gosh. Okay. Enough looking at that. What else do we have here that Canada scored very highly in to attain the overall rank of number 2? Open for business, which kind of reminds me of the entrepreneurship. Makes sense. Social purpose. That's interesting. Social purpose. How do you define that? A country's citizens can rally around causes they feel strongly about. Human rights, environments, religious freedom. Support for these causes can create a sense of cultural cohesion. Yeah, and help these people identify of having a shared purpose. Yeah, kind of like just the Canadian culture, I suppose. Certainly a lot of things that go into that. But I think one thing that's for sure is that Canadians, on the whole, are very proud to be Canadian and happy to be Canadian. It's not as much as the raw, in your face American patriotism of like, I'm going to scream it into your face how great we are. Canadians just kind of know Canada is really great and just like kind of quietly and confidently are like, yeah, I wouldn't leave here. Like, I'm very happy. I'm happy to be here. And that, like, if you ask a Canadian is very patriotic. If you ask a Canadian, at least from a lot of the stuff I have seen. What else do we have here? So those are some of the categories. Canada scored real high in. Adventure. Oh, this is like a breakdown even further. Friendly. within the adventure ranking, there's a friendly ranking. I don't know what that means, but I am happy Canada got a 94 in friendliness. It makes sense. Good for tourism. I would have think that would be higher, actually. A little higher. Oh, sexy. Sexy. Canada, 3.3. That's just criminal. I'm not sure what those mean exactly. All right. What else do we have here? Responsive. What did Canada do great in? Quality of life. Let's see that broken down. Good job market. Economically stable. Family friendly. Nice. Safe. Big one. Safe. That's a huge one. Man. I just had to read that word and be like, okay, that's why Canada is beating the United States in some of these. They're measuring stuff like safe scores. Canada's going to win that one. Well-developed public education, well-developed public healthcare system. Yeah. Very good. What else do we have here? We have Canadian photos. Okay. I'll look at some Canadian photos. Why not? Ooh, Canada in photos. The Northern Lights form a dramatic background near Churchill. Wow, this looks like Stonehenge in Canada somehow. Gosh, that's amazing. I forget sometimes there are parts of Canada you can see the Northern Lights. Yeah, that's amazing. These photos are kind of cool. Just kind of like Canada in a little photo montage to kind of wrap this all up, I guess. The sunrise on Cascade Mountain illuminates a chilly autumn following snowfall near Banff. Oh, Banff National Park. Wow. Beautiful. Canadian geese. Canada geese. Couldn't have a Canada ranking without mentioning the Canada geese somehow. Sneaking them in here. An icon of the country. Yeah, iconic for nipping your shoelaces, right? Are known to migrate across the Americas and as far as Northern Europe. Canada geese got their own little photo. We got Vancouver, British Columbia, a diverse city. It's a really cool looking photo too. Oh, children play hockey in Vancouver. This is cool. Wow, this is a great photo. Ice hockey is Canada's official winter sport. Most popular spectator sport. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Like, I don't even know what the American version of this would be. It's nice with hockey, you can like set it up in kind of impromptu places. With basketball, you need a hoop. With football, you need a field. You can kind of toss a football around, I guess. Kind of like what they're doing. Playing a little hockey. Canada in photos. 2 boathouses form solitary figures on Lake Minnewanka during the Alberta winter. Wow. Polar bear in Churchill, Manitoba. I've heard that before. I've heard that's where they are located. You can even get on these tours that tour you to see the polar bears. Winter day in Old Quebec, historic district of Quebec City. Wow, this is so cool. This is getting you into the holiday spirit too, with the lights and the snow on the trees, and I'm not. I am doing my best to block out the cold frigidness of the winter and just absorb the beauty of it. Mont Royal Park at sunset in Montreal. Very nice. With some dogs. That always helps. Toronto, Ontario. Legislative building on Canada Day. Very cool. Commemorating the birth of Canada. Where is this? Pink ornaments, bubble ornaments along St. Catherine Street in Montreal's Gay Village District. Very cool. Yeah, that looks like it'd be really cool to be under as well, visually. A scene from Nation Phillips Square, a favorite public gathering spot in Toronto. During the winter, the plaza's reflecting pool is an ice skating rink. How Canadian. This is a big spot in Toronto? That's amazing. People can ice skate in public here? It turns from a pool into an ice skating rink. That is so cool. Okay. That's cool. Toronto's downtown skyline, oh, beautiful. At sunset. That's awesome. And a dog, I think. Yeah, a dog. I hope it's a dog. And a human in a little boat. That's beautiful. Wow. These are some great photos. Oh my God. And there you have it. That is the 2023 Best Countries Ranking, with Canada moving up from number 3 last year to number 2. So again, congrats to that. Seriously. I think it's well deserved. And for all the sort of categories and reasons we talked about today, and for all the reasons I kind of have been learning about through a lot of my videos, it makes a lot of sense. So I enjoyed learning about this a lot, actually. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.